It was a crisp autumn evening in October 2023 when I pulled into my quiet cul-de-sac in Maplewood, Oregon, only to find my driveway barricaded by four neon orange cones, a hand-scrawled "private property, no trespassing" sign jammed between them, and my neighbor, Linda Grayson, standing there like a self-appointed sheriff of suburbia. Her arms were crossed, her glare locked on my headlights like I'd just rolled up to invade her personal kingdom. Just that morning, everything had been fine. I'd left for work at 6:30 a.m., parked in the same spot I'd used for 5 years, waved at Linda as she fussed over her azaleas, and thought nothing of it. Now, here she was, practically radiating righteous fury, blocking my own driveway. I rolled down my window, and before I could even ask what was going on, Linda let loose. "You can't park here anymore, Tom. This driveway's on my property line." I checked with the HOA and city records. She said it with the confidence of someone who'd just binge-read a legal blog and crowned herself an expert. The cones were her scepter, the sign her decree. I blinked, caught off guard, still tasting my lunch burrito. "Linda, this is my driveway. My address is literally painted on the curb." Her arms tightened, her voice rising for the neighbor's benefit. "The property lines are unclear. The HOA says it's mine. Park somewhere else until this is settled." The cones were angled like a stage set, screaming her claim to anyone passing by. I could have laughed, but her dead serious expression stopped me. Instead, I nudged my car forward, the bumper kissing a cone. Linda lunged, waving her arms like I was about to commit a felony. "Don't touch those cones. I'm warning you." The drama had officially kicked off. Across the street, Mrs. Chen pretended to sweep her porch, ears perked. The Larson kids circled on scooters, probably live texting the showdown. I weighed my options: go full confrontation or play it cool. Linda thrived on chaos, probably rehearsed this moment in her head all day. So, I smiled, reversed, and parked on the street. "All right, Linda. If the HOA says so, I'll wait for the paperwork." Her face twitched, like she'd expected a fight, not surrender. She retreated to her porch, but I caught her peeking through her blinds, probably thinking I'd steal her precious cones under cover of night. That evening, I dug out my secret weapon, a plat map from my home office, stamped by the city, proving my driveway was mine. I fired off a polite email to the city planning office, attaching the map, and left a voicemail for the HOA, knowing it'd probably vanish into their bureaucratic void. The next morning, Linda's cones were still up, but she was MIA. I snapped photos for evidence, always key when dealing with someone who thinks spray paint and signs are a personality trait. For a few days, I played along, parking on the street, nodding to neighbors, acting like this was just a quirky blip. But the whispers spread. Kids avoided my driveway like it was cursed, and Mrs. Chen started dropping hints about neighborly respect. Then came the first real salvo, a yellow HOA notice on my door, screaming "violation" in bold caps, accusing me of parking in a restricted zone. No details, just a fine threat and a number to call. Guess who filed it? That night, I set my security camera to record the driveway and pinned my plat map to my kitchen board. Game on. Linda didn't stop. She left notes on my windshield, "Respect my property," and even hired a landscaping crew to spray a faint orange line across my driveway, like she was carving out her own micronation. I caught her once, paint can in hand, looking like a kid caught sneaking candy. "Just marking the boundary for safety," she chirped, citing the HOA. I added vandalism to my mental list of her crimes. Things hit a fever pitch one Saturday when I woke to shouting. Linda was on the sidewalk, phone out, yelling to the block, "I've called the police. This man keeps trespassing." A squad car rolled up, and half the neighborhood turned into spectators. I handed the officer my plat map and city records, pointing to my address on the curb. He sighed, clearly over it. "Ma'am, this is a civil matter. Talk to your neighbor." Linda's face twisted, but I saw the spark in her eyes. She wasn't done. She doubled down, taping laminated "no parking" signs to every tree and mailbox near my property. My yard looked like a dystopian yard sale. She even zip-tied a sign to my trash bins, as if my garbage was plotting against her. I started waving at her phone camera, narrating my moves. Day 4, still parking legally, which only made her scowl deeper. I wasn't just playing defense. I compiled a binder, deed, plat map, tax records, even the original survey from when I bought the house. I sent a sharp email to the HOA, CCing the city, demanding clarification and hinting at legal action. The phrase, "my attorney," works wonders. Replies trickled in vague, but progress. Linda, meanwhile, hired a surveyor, some guy named Carl with a tape measure and a truck magnet reading Land Solutions. He measured my driveway while Linda hovered, preaching about historic boundaries. I chatted him up later. He admitted he wasn't licensed, just paid to mark lines. No official report, just Linda's cash and ego. Then came an anonymous flyer in my mailbox. Concerned neighbors for harmony, announcing an emergency HOA meeting about property disputes. I RSVP'd, binder ready. The meeting was a circus. Linda sat up front, flanked by her cronies, 2 retirees, and a realtor who looked bored. She launched into a tearful speech about safety, community, and my hostility, waving Carl's scribbles like they were gospel. I stood, calm as stone, and let my binder do the talking. Plat map, city letter, HOA bylaws. I pointed out her fake survey and the HOA's overreach. The room went quiet. The HOA president, Mr. Harmon, squirmed. Their lawyer perked up, eyeing my evidence. They promised a review, no action until then. Linda's jaw dropped, been outplayed. But she didn't quit. One morning, I found thief chalked across my driveway. I hosed it off, grinning for the neighbors. Then a tow truck showed up, Linda directing the driver to my car. I stepped out, phone recording, and showed my ID. "This is my house." The driver backed off, leaving Linda fuming. The next day, a pile of mulch appeared on my driveway with a note about community beautification. I laughed, dragging it to my backyard. Then the city dropped a bombshell, a letter confirming my driveway was mine, with a 3-foot buffer inside my boundary. I mailed copies to every neighbor, taped one to my door, and emailed the HOA for an apology. The tide turned Mrs. Chen brought cookies. The Larson kids gave thumbs-ups. Linda, cornered, served me a lawsuit for malicious encroachment and emotional distress. Court was surreal. Linda spun a tale of fear and chaos, showing photos of my car and her cones, even crying on cue. I presented my binder, surveys, city letter, video of the tow truck fiasco. The judge, visibly tired of suburban nonsense, grilled Linda on her lack of police reports and escalating antics. He ruled in my favor, dismissing her case and warning about harassment. "Neighbors aren't enemies," he said. Linda's allies slunk away. The neighborhood exhaled. 2 weeks later, Linda listed her house for sale. Her motivated seller pitched flop had no buyers. I got an idea. My sister, Emily, was house hunting. I suggested Linda's place. She toured it, loved the bones, and scored a deal. Within a month, Emily and her wife moved in, replacing Linda's flamingo mailbox with a sleek one and her mulch stains with wildflowers. They found a file behind the furnace, Linda's HOA complaints, legal threats, and a bitter note. "Congrats on inheriting the neighborhood headache." We laughed until it hurt. The block became a real community again. Barbecues, open fences, potlucks. I park in my driveway now, no drama, just peace. But Linda's final note lingers, a reminder that some fights, even the absurd ones, are worth it. What do you think? Was I too harsh in pushing back, or did Linda deserve the reality check? Should neighbors settle disputes like this themselves, or is dragging in the HOA and courts inevitable? And that final note, petty revenge or a cry for help? Drop your thoughts below, hit like if you laughed or gasped, and subscribe for more wild tales.